This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is telling everyone, let's face it in therapy. By talking or texting with a supportive, licensed therapist at Talkspace, you can face whatever is holding you back, whether it's mental health symptoms, relationship drama, past trauma, bad habits, or another challenge that you need support to work through. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a provider, typically within 48 hours. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make your mental health a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.
Fan.
The 2024 UFA champion Minnesota Wind Chill kick off their season this Saturday at Seafoam Stadium. And we've got your chance to be a part of the action. Be caller 11 right now to win a pair of tickets to see the Wind Chill in action against the Chicago Union. Call now 1-800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326. Good luck.
Nine to noon. Middle portion of the presentation. Mondays with Mick are provided by follow him as 9 to noon does, please, at PatMick2626, at PatMick2626. He is Minnesota hockey immortality, for he is on the Mariucci mural, and we are not. Pat Micheletti. Brett's breakaways are coming up a little later, and here we are. So let's just.
I was worried about you all week.
Why?
Since our last chat last Monday.
But why?
Because of your daughter and the graduation, and you were down, and so I was worried about it. But
thank you, and thanks for checking in.
But you look better today.
How many graduations have you been?
3.
Okay, that was my first.
Yeah,
that's the first one I've ever attended. Period.
Yeah.
And so maybe you can relate to this. It's, when you have a child, specifically a daughter, and at age 18, they are fearless and confident enough to head 1,000 miles west. And then all of a sudden you incur some turmoil, some relationship-related turmoil, like within 2 weeks of being there.
Yeah.
And
don't bring it back.
So then all of a sudden at the first place, situation with the roommate ain't the greatest ever. And you're at CU Denver, the 1A.
And you can't just get in the car and go and
there you go.
Care of
right.
everything.
So, and then you negotiate the first 2 years, and then you're a year and change, and then you get over to Boulder. And you do that for 2 years and change. You nailed it, man.
Yeah.
You nailed it. But it's that there were so many things that were popping up to her graduation where I'm like, man, I just can't jump. I can't jump in the edge and just roll around the corner and help baby girl. So it was upsetting me.
Yeah, but your journey is just beginning because as we chatted about prior to this.
Yeah, stop it. And we're not thinking about wait till she has her first child. We ain't ready for that.
It's going to be like, how's she doing today?
Yeah. What's your daughter's name?
Katie Lindsay.
Lindsay's the one I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Okay. Hi, Katie. No hard feelings. So do they have kids?
Yes.
Ooh, what was that like, granddaddy?
Oh
Kevin
God.
Gorg's a granddaddy.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
I got 3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. And so you worry every day. How are they feeling? Are they everything going
about
okay?
the grandkids or the daughter?
Well, the daughter having the child.
Yeah.
And hoping the child is happy.
How often do they saddle you with the Rugrats? Excuse me. How often do they give you the privilege of watching the grandkids?
Well, they're both not even 10 minutes away. Yeah. So it's like, hey, can you come over? Hey, can I drop them off?
Yeah.
And it's the best.
The real teary moment for me with so you got so Thursday you have the big stadium all seniors at University of Colorado Boulder.
Beautiful.
It was awesome.
Oh my God.
They're in Folsom Field.
Yeah.
80% of the stadium's full. Hey, there's Travis Hunter. You know, he's I can't remember arts and science or whatever, but like he was there. And it was just a big spectacle. The commencement, you know, wasn't the greatest commencement I've ever heard. I was like, anybody find Denzel? Can we get Denzel up here to do this commencement? No, it wasn't Denzel Washington. It was a lady I'd never heard of. But for me, as they were filing in, I couldn't find her. And the idiot that I can be, I forgot to bring my binoculars. So I got...
And you are the king of binoculars.
I live in binoculars.
Yeah.
I have two sets. One that are mounted at Canterbury Park, military field binoculars, to get me right up on the hands of the riders at the half mile into the far turn to see if they start niggling with their horses a little bit, to see what they got or they don't have. And then I have the ones I use during Vikings games, which are standard, like 10 by 50s, that I forgot to bring.
How many of you pairs have you broken throughout the years? Because you're not emotional, you know. I mean, you're pretty calm, you know, when you're either calling a game or you know.
The answer with
I'm facetious here.
No, don't be
I am.
With the football team with the binoculars that
you don't get excited.
I will use with Vikings games. I broke my 7th pair halftime of the 33-0 down to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I always love that.
Threw them across the Vox box. Had to do the rest of it.
Out for you.
They came back and won. I broke 2
Did you
pair.
broke them when they were down or when you took the lead?
No, when we were down.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so mad. I broke 2 of them in the same game, 2009 NFC Championship game.
I always love that.
When Adrian fumbled at midfield and couldn't get it back, there's one break. Had a spare with me when they had a bogus overtime call on Ben Lieber for pass interference.
Can you control yourself?
I always love that one.
Yeah, I've never broken any of them.
Yeah.
But I didn't bring them. But see, the thing is, I couldn't find her. So it was frustrating to me that we're on the 50 in the second deck, about the 5th row. I mean, the place is nearly packed.
It's not like you want to go through every row looking at the same...
Without binoculars. Okay?
Yeah.
So finally, they're walking in, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to stand right field level at about the 50-yard line, and just watch these kids come in, and maybe I'll get lucky, and I'll see Child. 90 seconds later, there she is with her friend Gabby. And I started crying because I'm like, I can't believe I found you. I can't believe I found you. and the picture that I sent you and some other people.
What's her reaction?
She really, really took it all in. Okay. Now, you know, those with my gene or those period maybe can like cast the gaze the way of, okay, well, I'm starting this new job on Monday and I'm going to be moving to Denver in a couple of months. And we got this graduate school at DU.
A lot going on.
Yeah. And they don't smell the proverbial roses of the moment. Well, she did. Now, they also, as kids would do on that day, started at 5:30, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like up at 4:30. Man, I was so tired on Thursday morning. So we drove the rental car over to her neighborhood called The Hill, right by Pennsylvania Avenue, adjacent to the University of Colorado. And I'm tired, man. But when we found a parking spot and I got out of that car, the energy of those kids in the street, and I'm not over-exaggerating this, talking. I mean, I've walked into buildings for NFC title games or big playoff games. I've never, ever, ever felt the energy that I felt on those surrounding streets as those kids, who probably began at 5:30, if you know what I mean, walking over to Folsom Field to graduate. I mean, the energy was palpable. It fired me up for the day. It was their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they won. Unlike some other teams.
They went into it knowing they were going to win.
Right.
The odds were on them.
But when there were 6,500 of these students on the field and they're filing in and 3/4 had filed in and I hadn't seen Coley. And then I went down and 90 seconds later, I can't believe I found you.
Yeah.
I can't believe I found you. And then we embraced, and that's the picture that I sent you, man. That was cool. I think I might have put it on Twitter, too. All right, 3-2. Are you going to be asking for Preakness advice this week?
Most likely, of course.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I just need to know how much money to bring to the racetrack on Saturday.
Correct.
It happened again this year, where I bring $350, $400. By the way, I got my bets to make too on the Preakness.
Well, who cares? Yeah, but
bro, you texted me a 9-horse trifecta box that cost $862. It's because now your computation was bad. Okay, you didn't realize that we're not going to do the trifecta like that and stick me $860, or I even make one bet on the undercard at Churchill Downs.
Oh,
so then we refined a little bit.
We did.
But Sovereignty, sadly, is not racing.
Sadly.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks because no Triple Crown shot.
Tell me why.
That's a great question. I just saw the headline.
Do they need more time between races?
Probably. Could
they extend that out another week?
They can. I mean, it's kind of
let's say it's the following week.
Yeah.
Is he in? Or
I don't know. I would guess yes. It probably it's an age-old horse racing talker bit where that's what makes
would like
winning.
To learn that
but that's what makes winning the Triple Crown so tough. Because 3-year-olds never go a mile and a quarter. They do. Sovereignty first, journalism second. Then you wheel back 2 weeks later and you cut back to a mile and 3/16. So that's a speed game. All right. So you got to do the endurance of the mile, and then you cut back.
Oh, yeah.
And then 3 weeks later, you go a mile and a half in the Belmont, and that's how you capture a Triple Crown. So with extra time, I would guess yes. But he's not running. Okay. Journalism's going to be heavily favored. That'll be your play, right?
100%.
100%. 4 to 5. Looks good enough to eat.
Gotta get a long shot in there for me. Yeah.
KG.
I'm Parlay Pat.
Beloved KG, Kevin Gorg.
KG.
He crushed the Kentucky Derby.
I know.
We'll see what he says later this week. With the Stanley Cup playoffs. Who looks the best out of all the teams left, and why?
They all look the same to me. They really do. And it's a battle of you want to see, and you wonder why certain players don't play in the playoffs. It is because if you watch the playoffs, you will understand it. It is a war. It is played along the boards. There is no time. There is no space. You've got your players that have the ability to once in a while make plays. Once in a while.
Yeah.
Other than that, it is grind and hit and kill and destroy, and it is so difficult. Look no further than the Toronto Maple Leafs last night. They gave it their all. Your Marners, Wielanders, Austin Matthews held without nice. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine what his body's going to be like after they are eliminated or win the series or go on or whatever the case may be. Series tied 2-2. But every shift he's either mauling somebody or getting mauled, and it's just so hard. Get things done.
Yep.
It's just so difficult.
I felt some legitimate Minnesota related heartbreak. It's not Minnesota related. It's the type of sports heartbreak Minnesota fans will complain about when they're like, sports teams here can't have nice things. We get excited about the Wild, haven't won a playoff series in 10 years. T-Wolves blown out last year in the Western Conference Finals. The Vikings one and done in the playoffs, things like that. It was at a dinner last Friday in Colorado. And the family with whom we were having dinner, just all the graduation dinners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, this family lives in Denver and loves the Avalanche and have had season tickets since the Sakic, Forsberg, and Adam Foote days. My man had a
Patrick Waugh,
but the foot bit, like the blue, that's a little different than the blue they wear now. It's a little deeper, it's periwinkle-ish with the reddish or whatever. It's like one of those old school Adam Foote jerseys my man had. He showed me a picture. And they've had season tickets forever. And here's the Minnesota related heartbreak. Just I mean, I didn't bring the therapeutic Davenport of love, but if I had checked it, they would have broken the legs on it simply by this one conversation we had about one thing. Now, these are lifetime Avalanche fans. Mikko Rantanen burying their season with a hat trick and this is what got Dad, watching all the Avs hug him after the game and just how deeply it cut when Rantanen with the Stars bounced the Avalanche. This family has bad PTSD, post-trade suffering disorder. They watched him score goals for their Avs just that season and then watched him dagger them after a trade for which he did not ask. That's all they could say. He didn't ask for the trade.
Right.
Like he didn't want to leave.
So,
and they're cut badly, man.
And that would be the situation if Kaprizov left to free agency.
He'd go to the Stars, come back and knock us out of the playoffs.
I'm just saying that's how people would feel.
Wow.
That's how people would feel. That's why it is so important to re-sign this guy.
Yeah.
And,
so
and then go from there.
Okay, well, I mean, you're an elite hockey mind, Brett. You're more than welcome to join anytime. Like, why did they trade Rantanen? I mean, he has 3 points. Did he have 3 points yesterday? Or I mean, he's kicking ass in the Jet series too.
Well, they did not meet what he wanted.
Oh,
and that was he wanted to be the highest paid winger in the league.
Wow,
and they didn't. They couldn't come to terms.
Okay, but they couldn't play the rest of the season with him.
Well, no, because he would have went to free agency.
Great, but they still might be involved in the playoffs.
Well, but then they lose him, and then they don't get anything in return for him. A la Marian Gaborik.
Yeah.
When Minnesota kept him and let him walk.
So
Mick, talk it.
Was Charlie Coyle part of that big deal?
No, he was part of a different deal.
Different deal, okay.
And same with Brock Nelson was part of a different deal.
Yeah, that all
Marty
worked.
Nietzsche.
Yeah, Nietzsche
was and who's a great player. He's not Rantanen. He's younger, and he's got a boatload of talent, but he's not Rantanen. And so and Rantanen, what he is doing now, I don't know if you saw him the other day. I mean, I think he's been. I don't know what the exact number is. Let's call it 17 goals that they've scored, or maybe more. He's been out of their last 17. He's been in a part of 14 of them.
You can't.
It's just insane what he's doing.
Yeah, biblically speaking, and I know that's important to you. Pride goes before the fall. Yeah. All right. Well, you're not letting your pride go. You just can't get yourself to say the Dallas Stars look like the best overall team in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I can't.
But they do.
I can't, though, because I tell you, that series is so tight. Winnipeg.
About ready to be 3-1 tonight.
Very well could be and should be. And if Dallas wants to advance, absolutely. Yeah. They know how important tonight's game is, but don't sell Winnipeg. I mean, I sold Winnipeg short.
Yeah.
I thought the Blues were going to beat them before the series started. And I'm wrong about that because Winnipeg plays. And Scheifele back in the lineup, that game was 2-2. Now, you want to talk about the importance of goaltending, right?
Yeah.
Connor Hellebuck has just not been the same guy. Ottinger's been terrific. Toronto last night loses maybe 6-0 without Wall, their goaltender, was fabulous last night for them. So, when you talk about teams that win the Stanley Cup, they win it because of their goaltending.
Speaking for old schoolers, which would be you and I, but you've lived here all your life.
Yeah.
You played for the freaking North Stars.
Yes.
Okay, so the Minnesota North Stars, under the cover of darkness, the Norm Green sucks bit, going to Dallas. You like old schoolers, specifically those who wore the colors like you. It's just, you'll never get past it, right?
It was difficult. Yeah. I was there the day that they blew up the Met Center.
Yeah.
And Met Center, you weren't around then, were you?
Mall of America parking lot.
Yeah. And it was one of the, You ask any player who played in that era, it was the best ice in the league.
Wow.
And it just had a charm to it, and it was a beautiful arena.
Yep.
They needed to upgrade. They needed to put, I think Lou Nanny I heard him say this, $15 million to add suites to it, and just
couldn't
to
do
keep
it.
And they didn't, and
Yep.
everything fell through, and they were going to go to Target Center, which was not Target Center then. It was whatever it was.
Blocky Game Works.
Yeah, and
playing House of the Dead with Blake Moore.
And it just didn't work out, and they left, and it was too bad.
That's Mick Talk, Pat Micheletti at Pat Mick 2626. Dallas up 2-1 on the Peg. Florida and Toronto 2-2. Edmonton 2-1 on Vegas, and Carolina 2-1 on the Washington Capitals and beloved Ovi. Plus, what would Mick Talk, what would Pat like to see the old Wild do to improve next season? We'll get into all those subjects around the corner. But first,
the cash thing, the fan, and BigDeck.com. I'm going to give you a shot to win bonus bucks to the National Cash Contest. Head to KFAN.com and the keyword bills. The keyword bills, KFAN.com, keyword.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hi, this is Javon, your Blinds.com design consultant.
Oh, wow. A real person.
Yep. I'm here to help with everything from selecting the perfect window treatments to...
Well, I've got a complicated project.
No problem. We make the complex simple. I can even help schedule a professional measure and install.
I didn't realize you did that.
We can also send you samples fast and free.
Wow. I always thought I needed a designer to come to my home, but scheduling's always a nightmare.
Not with Blinds.com. We're on your schedule. And there's no haggling, pressure, or hidden fees either.
I just might have to do more.
Whatever you need. How about you tell me what you had in mind?
Okay, then. So the first room we're looking at is for guests coming over, and I'm thinking of something...
Blinds.com has covered over 25 million windows, all backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Shop Blinds.com now and get up to 50% off with minimum purchase. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is telling everyone, let's face it in therapy. By talking or texting with a supportive, licensed therapist at Talkspace, you can face whatever is holding you back, whether it's mental health symptoms, relationship drama, past trauma, bad habits, or another challenge that you need support to work through. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a provider, typically within 48 hours. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make your mental health a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.
Bill.
Yeah.
The Fan and Sukup Manufacturing bring you Fan on the Farm. Starting May 19th, 9 to noon, we'll be taking your tractor talkbacks. Each day, one farmer will be chosen to receive a Sukup prize pack, including a Carhartt cooler and a Brewmate Growler canteen. Get all the details, KFAN.com/farm, KFAN.com/farm. Sukup Manufacturing Company, helping farmers feed and fuel the world.
Duty EB. Yep, a week from today, Combine Covenant. Sukup prize packages. Fan on the Farm. Cat about ready to be eliminated from the playoffs. They got the cat. We got the dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Micheletti at Pat Mick 2626 in the 651 Carpus Plus studios. Brett Blakemore producing 9 to noon. And Double B offers up this.
It's time for Brett Blakemore's Breakaway.
Kaprizov in alone. Nobody going to catch him. Kaprizov scores!
Best chance for an argument to unfurl 9 to noon today begins in 3, 2, and base.
That's the thing. I think this may be the first ever wildless breakaways. Maybe I can fit. Well, actually, no, I can fit something in right here. Let's go here. Got a text into the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line 64686. This is 218 guy says, if the Panthers can't re-sign Sam Bennett, I want the Wild to go after him in free agency. Pat, your thoughts?
Well, I think he's going to be number one on a lot of teams, and that's the problem.
We got money.
We'll see if how much we have to spend. I think that price may be awfully high, like 9 or 10, to get the guy. He's going to be the number one target for a lot of teams. Love to have him. Don't know if it's possible.
Pat, do you happen to have the Beyond the Pond playoff pool? Do we know where we're at with that? I actually don't know.
I don't know. All I know, I had St. Louis L. I had Edmonton. I did have Vegas beating the Wild. I did have. I had Toronto. The usual suspects.
Yeah, we'll have to go back. I wonder if you had that offhand. But I do want to talk about each series as it goes right now. The one that's obviously most interesting to me is the Stars. What's the biggest takeaway? Up 2-1, could be 3-1 tonight. What's been the difference for the Stars against the Jets?
Yeah, what's been the difference for them Stars?
Ottinger and Hellebuck.
And Robertson.
Well, Robertson coming back certainly helps. Mm-hmm. But, Rantanen has been fabulous, but so has Kyle Connor for Winnipeg. I think the difference has been the goaltending. Plain and simple.
If I gave you Winnipeg right now, plus 140 to win the series, would you take it?
I would.
You would take that plus?
Yeah,
one?
I would.
I don't even know what the line is. Okay.
Yeah, I would because Hellebuck is going to win the Vezina. There's no question about it. He was the best goalie all year. Can he pull out of it? A lot of people thought he pulled out of it, and then the third period happened. So, but yeah, I think that would be a good value bet.
Let's go to the next series. Edmonton, Vegas. I think maybe the worst way you could lose a hockey game is the way that Edmonton just lost at home. Your thoughts on that game, that finish, and as well as that series?
Well, it's to me, Edmonton. They had a good first round, really good beating the LA Kings. Picard came in and kind of saved the day for him. Now he's out. Is he going to be back? Skinner has not been very good for Edmonton. That's always been their Achilles heel. So I think Edmonton is probably the better team, but that series is up for grabs now.
How much gas do you have in the Kia? How much gas do you have in your Fiat, whatever you drive? Are you loaded up? Well, here's why.
Yeah,
why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet, and we'll go out back. I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
What? Talk to me. Go ahead. Come on.
Winnipeg's plus 270.
Yeah, I would take.
I said 140.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to rip you off, man. I mean, Dallas is minus 345. Jeez. Isn't it 2-1?
Yes.
Ooh.
It's a big game tonight, right?
How much gas you got in the Peugeot?
Well, I wonder what, I bet you the same people were saying the same thing against the St. Louis Blues.
There we go. Edmonton is minus 250. Vegas plus 198. Which way would you go there?
I still like Edmonton, but boy, their goaltending scares me.
Oh, geez. Carolina leads OV 2-1.
Yeah.
Carolina's minus 720. Ovechkin's plus 500.
I would take Washington.
A 5-1 dog only down a game?
A heartbeat.
Damn, but they're like, yeah, kitty. I mean, I know. They put that number out there for the Tockets of the world.
Because they split in Washington.
I understand.
They split in Washington, so yeah. You know what? All that's saying is, Washington, can you win a game in Carolina?
Yeah.
And if you do, I think you win the series.
Panthers, Maple Leafs 2-2.
Yes.
It's 2-2. Panthers minus 200. Leafs plus 162.
I did pick Florida to win the cup again prior to. So I a little bit of that scared me because they've played the most hockey of anybody in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And to expect them to do it again, well, they're finding a way.
Pat Micheletti's predictions provided by...
As good as you are on that show and everything, every time you make those type of predictions, I run right to the bank and go the other way.
Puffy. Sam Reinhart had this to say after
was he good too?
The Panthers' most recent victory.
That's what this team is all about, defense and breaking hard.
Anything else with breakaways?
Yes, we'll go here. To me, the most entertaining series, obviously I want the Stars to win so I can be right and trumpet and parade. But the team that I think is the favorite is the Panthers. Okay. 2 down, came back.
Well, now you're trying to antagonize the Tocchet.
No.
He's being nice and calm.
I'm not antagonizing at all. 2-2 series, I think this could go 7. Where do you lean? Because I think, to me, Florida is still the cup favorites.
Yeah, Patrick?
Well, I think Toronto's got to find a way to get Matthews on the board.
Doesn't Toronto lose in the first round every single year? First or second round every year?
First or second round, yeah. It's either against Boston or Florida. And but Austin Matthews, they have to find a way to get him on the board. And when you have Wielander, and I mean they're really, really talented. There's no question about it. But they got to find a way to get Matthews going, and once he gets going, well, that could change the outlook of the series. But right now they're completely taking him off his game.
The T-Wolves are minus 900. They're 9-1 favorites to win this sucker.
Yes.
To win the series.
And they'll end it in the next 2.
OKC's minus 620.
I'm not sold on them. I'm not sold on them.
Right. Well, how can you be?
No.
They keep jacking around with these games.
Right. And, and winning championships, and that's why you have to have a good feeling about Minnesota. This team's been together. They've been through it. Oklahoma City was, 2 years ago, they were at the bottom. They're on their way.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there yet.
Right.
You got time for one more?
Yeah.
I got a text from 651 guy. It says, Pat, would you take Marco Rossi back next year on the wing?
Oh, I know. That's from Michael Russo. 100% it's from Michael Russo.
Well, let's fade the music and fire that up. I want to amplify it with something I wrote down off that.
Yeah.
If they don't trust Rossi in the playoffs, they need to trade him, right?
100%.
If you don't trust him in the postseason, you can talk maturity.
That's a determination. That's not Pat Micheletti saying you should do this. That's a determination that they're going to have to make going forward.
Right. But, wholeheartedly or partially, would you feel they don't trust him in the postseason?
Well, that's hard. That's hard because... if we'll go back to it. We talked about it last week. Matt Boldy had a tough first playoff. Kaprizov had a tough first playoff.
Right.
You have to learn how to play in the playoffs. Is he capable to do that? That is something that they're going to have to determine.
So Kaprizov went Vegas Golden Knights, Dallas Stars, Vegas Golden Knights, right?
Yeah, Blues were in there too, right?
The Blues in there too, yeah.
And in fact, he kind of broke out against the Blues.
Okay, well, it was the Dallas series where we got debored. We were
off the rails as mentally as a team. I thought,
right, and that just gets back to so many conversations.
It does.
But nevertheless, in closing, to keep it Minnesota centric, Pat Micheletti, what would you like to see the Wild do to improve next season?
Well, I think they have to have options, and I believe. That they are going to go after a top line center, and that maybe only allow them to get one player. And if they get that player, I think that is the route they would like to go. Now, plan B option. Well, then you go after 2 players. Probably, what Guerin mentioned, a center and a winger. There'll be enough out there, and they'll probably have enough money to do that. So that's the route I would go. That they're probably thinking they want to go. I think you're going to see Boyum and Juracek, get some minutes next year. Because they have to. Both those guys have contracts that are, I think they're still on their entry-level contracts. They're going to have to do that a little bit. And you're going to have to see a guy like Ogren, who they traded for. You know, they're going to have trust in him to get through what he's doing and be a contributor on this team next year.
I think it can be argued. Beloved Zuki is coming off the most clutch season maybe he's had.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so good when Kaprizov was down, then at the end.
Yeah.
But with beloved Zuki, how close is he? Like, are he and Ryan Hartman to the end?
Well, I don't think Hartman is yet, but you know, when you're talking Zuccarello and you're talking a 37-year-old, and yes, a lot of things he does are really super good, but through the whole season at that age, playing top 6 minutes, I think it's going to be awfully hard, you know, to get to that level if you're talking championships. I just think it's really, really difficult. Now, he's got 1 year left. He's going to do, you know, he would do just fine in this lineup next year, but is it enough? And I'm not going to put it all on him.
Yeah.
Of course not. But is he, you know, part of that mix that's going to get you to that next level?
Elite Hockey Mind takes. Puppy. From Pat Micheletti at Pat Mick 2626. My brother, I'll see you next week if you have time, all right?
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Good luck in the PGA, too, by the way.
Yeah, you too. I'll talk to you Wednesday.
Got you, brother.
All right, bye.
Talk to you Wednesday. That's Pat Micheletti at Pat Mick 2626. We howl around the corner the elite basketball takes of Parker Fox, amplifying 9 to noon on KFAN.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is telling everyone, let's face it in therapy. By talking or texting with a supportive, licensed therapist at Talkspace, you can face whatever is holding you back, whether it's mental health symptoms, relationship drama, past trauma, bad habits, or another challenge that you need support to work through. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a provider, typically within 48 hours. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make your mental health a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.
Get ready, Minnesota. The legendary Bryan Adams is bringing his Roll with the Punches tour to Target Center November 26th. Don't miss out on this epic night of rock anthems and unforgettable hits. Tickets on sale now. Get all the details, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
We have a man in studio who howls with the homies. He's Parker Fox, former Golden Gophers basketball player, also co-host of the Timberwolves fan line presentation called Howlin' with the Homies, and it's hosted by young Maxwell Fuller. And Parker joins us now at 10:50. Good morning. What's it like working with Max? And good morning.
Oh, Max is the bomb, man. You've had him around here enough to know how awesome Max is. I think Max just brings such a great personality to a room. He just lights up a room. He's so fun to work with, and he's getting better with his basketball knowledge too. Like,
there we go.
You know, he's not a natural basketball guy per se, but the way that he's kind of adapted basketball into his daily speak, and then just kind of some of the ins and outs, and it's just stuff you don't necessarily know if you don't play it at the high level, right? Like if you haven't played at the highest level, you might not see something the same way. But I think that's what makes us so great, is we're able to bounce ideas off of one another, and Max is just a complete energy guy. So I'm very, very blessed to be in the same room as Max, and we'll be howling tonight at starting at 7:30.
Yeah, we and we're blessed to have you around here for your basketball takes. But the reason I asked is with Max, when he's not, when he's not playing the role of Froby Bryant or he's not Jelly Lean Bryant. Do you even know who Jelly Bean Bryant is? Kobe Bryant's dad?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, Jelly Bean, I think for the Sixers, was the bomb. Super tough guy. I don't think Max has ever used that one. Max, call yourself Jelly Lean Bryant after Froby Bryant. But like after he goes through stuff like that, and you're looking for some type of basketball related take on Julius Randle, orchestrating the offense, penetrating. And Parker, why when he kicks for a 3-pointer, the guy's always open? I mean, if you're looking for a take like that, he's got to get around the Froby Bryant part of the equation. But you say it's getting better, right?
No, I think he's killing it, man. I think he's
fantastic.
He's absolutely fantastic. And these Wolves have given us something to cheer about as well. As you know, through your young days of broadcasting and radio, that it's easier to cheer for a team that's winning, right? It's easier to be on the radio of a winning side. And I think that's something that we're seeing in this playoff series versus the Warriors that hopefully extends due to some of the injury woes that are woeing over this Warriors team, especially with their leader in Steph Curry.
All right, so game 3, 7:30 to 9 for the pregame, howling with the homies. We got a postgame, or is it too late?
Too late.
Yes, too late.
Too late for postgame. It's going to be tomorrow by the time that would start.
Golden State was without, and this is, it's a take anybody can get, but I really like how. So I'm listening to Horton and Jim Pete. And then I flip to the TV right as they go to halftime.
Yeah.
And Stephen A. Smith, who I think is fantastic at everything he does, he paraphrasing, he basically puts it like, let me get this straight. Golden State was without Steph Curry and didn't hit a 3-pointer all first half, yet y'all only lead by 2? That's a problem. And I'm like, damn, I mean, I knew it was a problem, but the way he put it was like a problem of all problems ever to problem. But see, the other side of it is that's why around here we have, do, and will reference the coach of the Warriors as Kurachek. He's Kurachek, man. He's Steve Kurachek. I'm telling you, this Kurachek stuff, he knows what to do in all circumstances.
Yeah, they're trying to find different ways to win, right? Like, I think the stat that I heard Stephen A. say is the last time the Warriors didn't hit a 3 in the first half was Steph Curry's rookie year or some ridiculous stat like that. So Kerr is obviously, like you said, he's Kurachek right now, man. He's trying to find different ways to win. And one of those things that he tried to do in game 3 was inserting Trace Jackson Davis to the starting lineup. Ends up only playing 11 minutes. So, you're trying to search for different things. And hey, here we are. We're going to put this young second year, maybe even a rookie.
Whatever.
Traces. I feel like I played against him yesterday.
Right. You played against him in college?
Yeah, I played against him at
Where did he play?
IU, Indiana.
Damn.
Yeah, so
that's sweet.
They had a huge front court with him, and they had a lefty, and then they had Race Thompson, a Minnesota.
Kent Benson, Calbert Cheney.
There you go, baby.
There Dean Garrett.
So they inserted him into the starting lineup and only play him 11 minutes, so clearly didn't work. And the reason why maybe was because of what we saw from Jonathan Kuminga. I thought he was excellent in game 3. Played 36 minutes, went 11 of 18 from the floor. 3 for 4 from 3, not really known as a 3-point shooter, but a 30-point performance off the bench, which included 6 rebounds. So I think we probably see more of Jonathan Kuminga in game 4, but you're right, PA. It's a searching process right now that the Warriors are doing. I think another key point to that is you look at a guy like Pat Spencer, played major minutes in game 2 and was a DNP coach's decision in game 3.
Yeah, well, because Kurachek, when he got that first game, okay, he's like, no Steph, no problem. And I attended that game. I saw you and Maxwell before. We did some radio together.
Yes, sir.
We were all fired up, man. And then they played the game. And, okay, so the Timberwolves missed, 43s in that game? Something like that?
Ridiculous.
Or 33 maybe. So they had missed like 73 over 2 games. But see, that one against Kurachek, even without Curry, man, I mean, you know what you're looking for, where I can find it, but I don't consistently, I'm not consistently able to identify whatever he was doing with that amoeba zone man switch into a double. You never know what type of defense they're playing. It's clear when it comes to running with the Wolves, We're gonna get you from the free throw line after you inbound it to slow things a little. Mm-hmm. Well, that was working to perfection. Ant couldn't get himself going, man. He wasn't even like when he would hit a three, he wouldn't even put the three fingers out and do the bit. And we got killed. We got Kurachek in that first game, didn't we?
We did. And I think
how?
Well, I think what you hit right there, you hit the nail on the head. It's the switching of defenses, right? And like you said, it's that little slight 3/4 pressure. Why are the Warriors doing that? You have to ask yourself that. Why are the Warriors doing that? And I think it's simple. Steve Kerr doesn't believe that they can score over 100 points.
Right.
He doesn't believe that the Warriors can play this fast-paced game with the Wolves, and it's been proven through 3 games already. They haven't been able to score over 100. So I think what Steve Kerr is thinking is, how can we win an NBA playoff basketball game playing in the high 80s, low 90s, finding ways to not go over that century mark, go over that 100 mark. And how do you do that, right? So you implement some different things defensively. You switch into zones. You switch into weird matchup situations. You 3/4 court press to slow the game down. You run your sets on offensive side of the ball. You have Draymond not only dictate what's going on offensively, but dictate within 20 to 22 seconds of the shot clock. So you're using the shot clock up and you're not allowing the Timberwolves to get out in transition. So I think that's what Steve Kerr is really trying to do, especially going late into this series, knowing that he's probably Steph Curry-less throughout the series. Yeah, they said they're going to reevaluate him.
I'm with you.
In a couple games, but it's seeming as that hamstring injury at his age, I don't think he's coming back to play in this series. So Steve Kerr is really trying to find a way to win basketball games, to slug it up and try to find ways to win games in the 90s. And that almost happened in Game 3. We saw the Wolves go over that century mark and hit 102 in a 102-97 win. But I think the Warriors are really trying to get this thing done in the 90s.
Well, see, Kurachek, I mean, he was feeling so good about himself those first 2 games. Who's Brandon Key? Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, he's got the Santos bit playing. All right, he might get, he may get spot 3 to 7 minutes every so often. You mentioned the Jackson Davis Jackson. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you started him. Kevon Looney, I mean, with all due respect, Looney looks so out of shape. It's unbelievable how tired he gets in such a quick amount of time. He's just... Like Kevon Looney, man, was like 8 points, 12 rebounds, maybe 3/4 of a block or a block every single game for a long time.
Yeah.
And Kurachek's barely playing him. Now he kind of has to play him. And Looney's pulling a sled, man. He's pulling a sled up and down that court. But see, like when he was putting now Pat Spencer's tough. All right. Cool story, man. Cool number, 61, whatever it is. It's complete headband.
Mustache.
Yeah, right. Complete YMCA gym type player, but he's really good. Okay. Until you're down 2 games to 1. Mm-hmm. Until you lose all momentum in that key third game, man. It's 8 minutes to go. They're up 5. We get an offensive rebound, kick it out for a 3. Good. 2-point game. They come down, miss. We go back, miss. Offensive rebound, kick out 3, lead. The whole momentum just flipped right there. Kurachek ain't trying to play Brandon Key and Pat Spencer and this Santa. I mean, he was doing it early in the series because he was flexing because he's Kurachek. Mm-hmm. You can't flex now, can you?
Well, Key's got to his degree, he's got a national championship with the Virginia Cavaliers in 2018.
Right. So does DeAndre Hunter and Maturin or somebody pushed him on his butt yesterday.
Kevon Looney's a name I want to talk about, though, PA, because I think he's kind of a key to what the Warriors want to do. It's been inconsistent, right? He plays 14 minutes, then 3 minutes, and then, most recently game, he plays 18 minutes, but he still goes 1 of 4 from the floor. I don't think they're looking to Kevon Looney to be some sort of, point scorer or, he was maybe a shot blocker throughout his career. He's only 29 years old, so he's not like he's aged out in some sort of way, shape, or form. But I think rebounding the basketball is really where the Warriors want to make sure that they're staying consistent, because if you look across the board in terms of the Warriors, their dynasty or whatever you want to call it, they've always consistently been a really good rebounding team. And it's something that I think if you look at the rebounding battle throughout an NBA game or really any game, if you're able to find ways to win the rebounding battle, you're able to find ways to maybe win the game. And that's something I think is super important for this Warriors team. It's something they did well, especially in that first game, and they've done well throughout, their regular season. But, the Timberwolves just have too much size. So the Warriors are trying to find ways to combat that with the 18 minutes that KFAN Looney played in that game. But we just have way too much size inside. We won the rebounding battle 44-36 in that Game 3 win. I think if you're the Wolves, you got to continue to find ways to really crash the offensive glass and then just shore things up on the defensive side of the ball.
Elite Basketball takes Parker Fox at Parker Fox 24, and I am Fro Barry Carroll. Ooh. The host of 9 to Noon. Brett Blakemore produces. It's 11 o'clock. Heading into the final hour of the 9 to Noon radio show with P. Fox on KFAN.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Okay, have you heard about this? Last year, Degree changed the formula for their Cool Rush deodorant. Their fans rebelled and wanted the old scent back. And Degree listened. That doesn't happen often.
They admitted that they effed up and are bringing the original Cool Rush scent back. And it's exactly how you remember it. Cool, crisp, and fresh. There's a reason it's the #1 men's antiperspirant. And is back in Walmart, Target, and other stores for under $4.
So try it and see what the fuss is about. Head to your local stores to try the OG Cool Rush for yourself.
Summer on the south side of Chicago is heating up.
You planning revenge? Aren't you?
The Chi is back May 16th on Paramount+. It's the season of the women.
Women, this is our chance. It's time to get to work.
But the men aren't giving up without a fight.
The street's always gonna have a villain.
No one is backing down in the Showtime original series from Emmy Award winner Lena Waithe.
Why do black women always have to save the day? If we don't do it, who else will?
The Chi, new season streaming May 16th on the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan.
Wasabi Technologies is purpose-built to free businesses from skyrocketing storage costs and unpredictable egress fees from those old and top-heavy legacy providers. You know, the big guys. Wasabi is the go-to provider for professional and collegiate sports teams around the world. From Wasabi's AI-enabled intelligent media storage, Wasabi Air, to the industry's only cloud storage service with triple protection against cyber criminals, Wasabi is driving innovation in data storage, all for up to 80% less than those other guys. Try them out for free at wasabi.com.